Be me, 32-year-old high school history teacher, single for 3 years now. Not by choice, exactly. Convinced myself it was because I had standards. Real feminist standards. The kind that meant no man could ever measure up. My apartment has 3 cats. Named them Simone, Gloria, and Ruth. After the icons, obviously. They judge me silently every night. I run the gender studies elective at my school. 14 students this semester, 13 girls, and one very confused sophomore boy. My colleague Karen from the English department. She is married with 2 kids. Always looks tired but annoyingly happy. I tell myself she is brainwashed, trapped in domestic servitude. She brings me homemade cookies sometimes. I eat them alone at my desk. My sister Emily calls me every Sunday. She is 28, engaged to some accountant named Greg. Greg wears khakis. Greg grills on weekends. Greg is the enemy. Emily keeps asking when I will find someone. I tell her I am complete on my own. She says that is beautiful. But her voice says otherwise. My therapist, Dr. Patel. She has been seeing me for 2 years. Keeps asking about my relationship with my father. I keep changing the subject. My dad left when I was 12. But that has nothing to do with anything. Obviously. My friend circle has shrunk considerably. Used to have tons of friends in college. Now it is just Megan and sometimes Lisa. Megan works at a nonprofit, fights the patriarchy professionally. We get wine drunk and complain together. Lisa got married last year. We do not hang out as much anymore. She is one of them now. Saturday night. Megan convinces me to go to this art gallery opening. Some feminist photographer. Pictures of women looking empowered in various locations. I am 3 glasses of free wine deep, pretending to understand the artistic vision. There is this guy standing near the cheese table. Mid-30s, maybe. Glasses, buttoned down, looks like he reads books. Not hot, but not hot. He is actually looking at the photographs. Not just pretending like everyone else. Weird. I catch myself staring. He looks over. I pretend to examine a nearby houseplant. Smooth. Megan appears at my elbow. Who are you looking at? No one. You were definitely looking at someone. Shut up. She follows my earlier gaze. Oh God, not him. What is wrong with him? He is a man. Fair point. But he approaches us anyway. Because apparently the universe hates me. Hi, I am David. I taught a class with Sarah, the photographer. She asked me to come support her. He teaches photography at the community college. Of course he does. Probably gets paid in exposure and good vibes. Megan immediately goes cold. I try to match her energy. But he is not being weird, just talking about art like a normal person. He asks what we think of the exhibit. Megan launches into a prepared speech about the male gaze and feminine reclamation. I have heard it before. David actually listens, asks follow-up questions, does not get defensive. Weird behavior for a man. Megan excuses herself to get more wine. I am alone with him now. Panic. So, what do you teach? History mostly. Anything in particular. I focus on women's contributions, the parts they leave out of textbooks. He seems genuinely interested. Asks about my favorite overlooked figure. I go off about Claudette Colvin for 10 minutes. He does not interrupt once. At the end, he just says, "That is fascinating, I had no idea." And he sounds like he means it. The gallery is closing. David says it was nice meeting me. Maybe we could get coffee sometime. You could tell me more about history. My brain short circuits. I say sure before I can stop myself. We exchange numbers. He leaves. Megan reappears. Tell me you did not just give him your number. It was for professional reasons. You are a terrible liar. I know. I go home and tell Simone, Gloria, and Ruth about my shame. They are unimpressed. As usual, Monday at school. I cannot focus on my lesson plan. Keep checking my phone. He has not texted. See, this is what men do. Get your number and disappear. Classic. Finally a text at 4 p.m. Hi, it is David from the gallery. Would you want to get coffee this Saturday? That place on 5th Street is supposed to be good. I stare at my phone for 20 minutes. Type and delete 17 responses. Finally send sure sounds good. Tell no one. Especially not Megan. Saturday comes. I wear something casual. But like deliberately casual. Took me an hour to look this effortless. The coffee shop is small and independent. Exposed brick and mismatched furniture. He is already there when I arrive. Reading an actual physical book. Not a phone. Suspicious. He stands when he sees me. Old-fashioned. Probably performative politeness. Internalized chivalry or whatever. We order. I get an oat milk latte. He gets plain. Black coffee. No pretension. We sit and he asks about my week. I tell him about my students. The gender studies elective specifically. Wait for him to make a face, or a joke, or some comment about feminism. He just asks what topics we cover, and whether students seem engaged. Actual questions. I explain my curriculum. He takes mental notes. Asks if any of it could tie into visual arts. Maybe a collaboration. I had not considered that. Actually, not a terrible idea. We talk for 2 hours about teaching and art and books. He recommends a history podcast. I recommend a documentary. When we leave, he says, "This was really nice. I would like to do it again if you are interested." I say yes. And mean it. Which is terrifying. That night I tell the cats. Simone seems concerned. Gloria is asleep. Ruth knocks something off the counter. Fair criticism. I do not tell Megan. She would say I am betraying the cause. Whatever that means. Week 2. David texts regularly. Not constantly. Just the right amount. Good morning texts sometimes. Check-ins after long days. Sends photos of interesting things he sees. We go to a museum on Sunday. He knows a lot about Impressionism. I know nothing about Impressionism. He explains without being condescending. I catch him looking at me when I am reading a placard. He looks away quickly. Cute. Wait, no, not cute. Concerning. Dinner after at a Thai place. He remembers I mentioned liking spicy food. Orders the hot version without asking. Good memory. Conversation flows easy. No awkward silences. No desperate topic changes. Just talking. He walks me to my car. No kiss, just a hug. And see you soon. I drive home confused. Where is the pressure? The expectation? The entitlement? This must be a long con. Nobody is this normal. Week 3. Megan finally notices something. You have been weird lately. Weird how? You seem less angry. I am always angry. Less so. She interrogates me over lunch. Are you seeing someone? No. Your face says yes. My face is a liar. I crack eventually. Tell her about David. Coffee and museum and texts. She looks at me like I kicked a puppy. A man, though. He is different. They all say that. I know, but... She launches into a speech about patriarchal conditioning, about how men pretend to be decent, to gain access, to exploit emotional labor. I have given this same speech to other women, about other men. But something feels different now. I tell her I will be careful. She does not seem convinced. Neither am I, honestly. That weekend, David invites me to his place for dinner. He wants to cook. Alarm bells. This is where the mask comes off, where nice becomes expectation. I tell Megan where I will be. She says to text every hour. I agree. His apartment is modest, 1 bedroom, books everywhere. Like actually everywhere. Stacks on tables and shelves and floor. He made pasta from scratch. Says he watched a video. It took him 3 tries to get it right. We eat at his small kitchen table. He poured wine, but did not push it. I have 1 glass. After dinner, we sit on his couch. There is a documentary about architecture. He thought I might find it interesting. No move to sit closer. No arm creeping around my shoulders. No convenient yawn and stretch. Just watching the documentary. Occasionally commenting. At 11, I say I should go. He nods, walks me to the door. Thanks for coming over. I had a really nice time. No protest, no guilt trip, no disappointed sigh. Just good night and text me when you get home. I sit in my car for 5 minutes, processing. This is wrong. Not wrong, but unprecedented. I text Megan, still alive. Nothing weird happened. She replies, that is suspicious. I agree. Week 4. Things continue being normal, which is abnormal. David meets me for lunch on Tuesday. Brings a book he thought I would like. History of Women in Espionage During World War II. He found it at a used bookstore. Thought of me. I do not know what to do with that. Men do not think of me. Not like this. Not without wanting something. I take the book home. Read it in 2 days. Text him about my favorite parts. He responds with questions. We have a whole conversation about spies. My sister calls that Sunday. So, how is life? Fine. Just fine. There might be someone. She screams into the phone. I hold it away from my ear. Tell me everything. There is not much to tell. He is a photographer teacher. We have been seeing each other. He is nice. Nice? Yeah, like actually nice. Not nice with conditions. Just nice. Emily asks when she can meet him. I say slow down. She says she knew I would find someone. I do not mention my 3 years of claiming otherwise. Week 5, Saturday afternoon. Park near the river. We are walking, and he says, I really like spending time with you. I hope that is okay to say. I want to keep doing this. If you want to. I stop walking. This is the moment where he adds conditions, where he reveals what he actually wants. He just stands there, waiting. I like spending time with you too. I say it before I can overthink it. His face does this thing. Relief and happiness combined. We keep walking. Our hands brush. He does not grab, just lets it happen. I reach over and take his hand. First move is mine. Feels important somehow. That night, I cannot sleep. Lying in bed with Ruth on my chest, staring at the ceiling. I have built my entire identity around the idea that men are fundamentally broken, that relationships with them are inherently unequal, that any woman who thought otherwise was deluded. What does it mean that I was wrong? Or at least not entirely right. Not about everything, maybe not wrong, just too broad, painting with strokes too wide. I think about my dad, leaving without explanation. My mom crying for months. How I promised myself never. I think about Tyler from college, who cheated with my roommate, and somehow made it my fault. I think about the guys who catcalled, the ones who got aggressive when rejected, the co-worker who made comments about my body. All real. All valid reasons for anger. But David has not done any of that. David just keeps showing up, being normal, being decent. Maybe the problem was not men. Maybe the problem was which men. And maybe I was choosing wrong, on purpose, because being right about men felt safer than being vulnerable. Heavy thoughts for midnight. Ruth meows in my face. I take it as agreement. Week 6. I finally tell Megan, really tell her, how much I like him, how scared I am, how I do not know what this means for who I am. She is quiet for a long time. Then she says, maybe you are not betraying anything. Maybe you are just growing. From Megan, this is huge, practically a blessing. I cry a little, blame it on allergies. I invite David to meet Emily and Greg. Dinner at their place in the suburbs. He seems nervous in the car, adjusts his collar 3 times. I find it endearing, which is a word I never use. Emily opens the door, immediately hugs him. Greg shakes his hand. They start talking about grilling. I watch David laugh at Greg's bad jokes, help Emily set the table, compliment the house genuinely. After dinner, we sit in their backyard, fairy lights and wine. Emily catches my eye across the table. Mouths, I like him. I nod, because I do too, more than I expected, more than I wanted. The drive home is quiet, comfortable quiet. Our hands linked over the center console. Your family is really nice. They liked you. I liked them too. Greg knows a lot about meat. He really does. We laugh, easy and natural. He drops me at my apartment, walks me to my door, kisses me for the first time, soft and brief. Then, good night. I watch him walk back to his car, feeling something I cannot name. Maybe it is hope. Maybe it is terror. Probably both. Week 7. I look at my old social media posts, the ones about men, the angry generalizations, the absolute statements. They feel foreign now, like someone else wrote them, someone more certain, someone less honest. I do not delete them, but I stop adding to them. Megan notices. You have not posted in weeks. Nothing to post. That is new. Yeah. I think about my students, what I have been teaching them, about questioning everything, including our own assumptions. Maybe I forgot to question my own. Dr. Patel asks about David. I tell her he is good. She asks how that makes me feel. Terrified mostly. Why terrified? I pause. Because if he is good, then I was wrong. And if I was wrong about this, what else was I wrong about? She nods, writes something down. Do you think being wrong makes you weak? Maybe. What if it makes you honest? I think about that for days. Week 8. David is over at my apartment, meeting the cats officially. Simone hisses and hides. Gloria ignores him. Ruth immediately sits on his lap. Traitor. We order food and watch a movie. Something stupid and funny. I fall asleep on his shoulder. Wake up to him carefully moving, trying not to disturb me. Did I fall asleep? For a bit, yeah. Why did you not wake me? You seemed tired. Figured you needed it. I make him stay. First time. Nothing happens. We just sleep. In the morning, he makes coffee. Knows where I keep the mugs. Pays attention. I watch him from the bedroom door. This man in my kitchen, feeding my cats, existing in my space. It does not feel like an invasion. It feels like an addition. Weird. Week 9. School starts back up. I am prepping my gender studies curriculum, looking at my old lesson plans. So much about men as a monolith. So much about inherent toxicity. So much anger dressed as analysis. Not all wrong, but not all right either. I add a new module about nuance, about individual, accountability, about not becoming the absolutism we critique. Might be controversial, might be important. My students ask about my weekend. I mention David without thinking. They want details. I tell them he is nice. They seem disappointed. Wanted drama. I only have peace. Hard to complain. Week 10. I am having dinner with David. He makes that pasta again. Got better at it. He asks about my dad. First time anyone has asked in years. I tell him more than I planned. About the leaving, the aftermath, the way it shaped everything. He listens without fixing, without comparing. Just holds my hand and listens. I cry. First time in front of him. He does not freak out, just gets tissues, and sits with me. No jokes to lighten the mood, no discomfort, just presence. I think I might love him. I do not say it. Not yet, but I think it. Week 11. Megan meets David officially. Dinner at a restaurant downtown. She is cool at first, polite but guarded. He does not push, just makes conversation. By dessert, she is laughing at something he said about teaching. I watch them get along. Feels like worlds colliding, but gently. After he leaves for the bathroom, Megan grabs my arm. Okay, fine. He is not terrible. I know. I hate that you were right. I was not right. I was just lucky. She thinks about that. Maybe we were unlucky before. Maybe. Or maybe we were not looking in the right places. She nods slowly. Maybe. Week 12. David asks me to be his girlfriend. Officially. With the word and everything. I say yes. And mean it completely. Which is new for me. We are at the park where we had that first real conversation. Sunset again. Some things feel destined, even if I do not believe in destiny. I text Emily. She sends 47 emojis. I do not understand most of them, but I get the enthusiasm. I do not post about it. Do not need external validation. Just internal certainty. The cats seem to accept him now. Even Simone stopped hissing. Small victories. I think about who I was a year ago. So certain about everything. So angry at nothing specific. Wrapped in ideology like armor. The armor is still there. Just looser now. Room to breathe. I still believe in equality. Still think there are problems. Still see injustice. But I also see David. And the complications that brings. To easy narratives. People are individuals. Even men. Even the ones I was taught to distrust. Maybe that is obvious. Maybe I was the last to realize. Does not matter now. What matters is this. Morning coffee with someone who listens. Evening walks with hands held. Small kindnesses accumulated. Not everything, but enough. For now. I thought admitting I was wrong would feel like losing, like admitting defeat, like betraying something important. It just feels like growing, like the thing my students do when they let go of simple answers. For complicated truths, I am still a feminist, still teach what I teach, still believe what I believe. Mostly. I am also someone who was wrong about something and found something better in the wrongness. That is the story, I guess. No grand revelation, no burning down of beliefs, just adjustment, calibration, human stuff. David is making dinner right now. I can hear him in the kitchen, singing badly to something on his phone. Ruth is judging him from the counter. Some things never change, but some things do. And maybe that is okay. Maybe that is the whole point. Be me. 32-year-old history teacher, in a relationship with a decent man, still figuring things out. It turns out that is allowed. Who knew?